Have you ever seen an online ad? One that looks just a bit too good, maybe a crazy deal or a betting site promising, well, impossible returns. And you get that little voice in your head asking, how did this end up on a major platform I actually trust? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on a really significant investigation. It dives right into that question. The alleged role of two huge tech giants, Google and Meta, in promoting large-scale online scams.
Right. And our mission here in this deep dive is really to unpack the specifics. We're looking at the Enforcement Directorate's probe, that's the ED, India's Economic Intelligence Agency, into these illegal betting platforms, yeah. And also these widespread online shopping scams. We want to explore how exactly these illicit operations use the, well, massive reach of these global tech platforms. And crucially, what all this means for you, the user, trying to navigate this digital world.
Okay, so that's the big picture. But what's the ED specifically targeting here? What's at the heart of it? At its core, the ED is looking into a pretty major money laundering case. And this case is directly tied, it seems, to those illegal betting operations and, yeah, unfortunately, those online shopping scams that have caught out so many people.
Exactly. And the central allegation, the really critical part, is this. Google and Meta are under scrutiny. Why? For apparently hosting paid advertisements. And these weren't just, random pop-ups. They actively promoted unregulated betting websites and deceptive shopping portals. And they were specifically targeting users in India. So effectively, these platforms might have become a key distribution channel for illegal stuff.
And the reach. That's just astonishing when you think about it. These platforms reportedly amplify this scam content, pushing it out to literally millions. Think about where you see things.
Google search results, yeah.
Yeah.
Your Facebook feed, Instagram posts, and even WhatsApp messages.
So just to be clear, this isn't about isolated incidents. It sounds more like a pervasive web of deceit reaching a huge audience.
It does seem that way. And when you look at the illegal betting part alone, the scale is, well, it's eye-opening. These platforms, according to the probe, reportedly helped amass hundreds of crores of rupees, all by violating Indian laws.
Hundreds of crores. Just pausing on that. For context, 1 crore is 10 million rupees.
Yeah.
So we're talking huge sums, millions, potentially billions in U.S. dollars.
Immense amounts of money.
That's staggering. And the tactics they used, fascinatingly deceptive. So scammers actually paid for ad slots on Google and Meta services.
That's the allegation, yes. Paid ads.
To lure people in. And these weren't obviously fake ads.
Apparently not always. The ads often claimed, high returns, presented themselves as legitimate betting services, trying to entice users to deposit money.
Which, of course, was then almost never returned.
That's the tragic outcome, yes.
So how did they manage to make these ads look so convincing, so legit?
Well, it's often not just a simple ad. Scammers can get quite sophisticated. They might use techniques like ad cloaking. Heard of that?
Where they show one thing to the platform's review system and something else to the actual user.
Exactly that. A clean version for the automated checks, perhaps, and then the real illicit version is served to people browsing. And these guys weren't subtle, apparently. Sources say these sites were brazenly advertising during massive events.
Like what?
Big ones, like the Indian Premier League, the IPL, the huge cricket league in India.
Right, massive audience.
Huge. And even during the lead up to the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, they were really leveraging moments of peak public attention to maximize their reach.
Wow, okay. That does sound like a sophisticated operation. And the authorities, they have been taking action.
Oh, yes. The ED, in a previous crackdown related to these kinds of operations, they actually attached assets worth a whopping 337 crore rupees.
337 crore. What's that in dollars, roughly?
Over 40 million US dollars.
Okay. And that was believed to be directly linked to these illegal betting sites.
That's right, linked to the betting and even unauthorized broadcasts of IPL matches.
But it's not just betting, is it? You mentioned that probe casts a wider net.
Mm-hmm.
It extends into these pervasive online shopping scams, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Where unsuspecting people were just lured in by offers of heavily discounted goods, stuff popping up in search ads or social media.
Exactly, that classic too good to be true scenario.
And how did those scams typically play out?
Well, what's quite insightful is the pattern. After someone showed interest in a deal, maybe clicked an ad, they'd often receive purchase links, sometimes over WhatsApp.
Okay, direct messaging.
Yeah. And then came the requests for more money. multiple payments under various fake reasons like customs clearance needed or extra courier fees.
Ah, the drip feed of extra costs.
Precisely. Which really makes you wonder, doesn't it, about the scammers' tactics, their understanding of psychology, and maybe also about the platform's blind spots in catching that kind of multi-stage fraud.
And the end result for the buyers, just heartbreaking. They never got the goods they paid for, right? Resulting in significant financial loss, often devastating.
Absolutely, just losing money with nothing to show for it. And the ED has clearly connected these dots. They've highlighted how these fraudulent transactions were facilitated directly through the same platforms that are now being investigated.
Which inevitably raises serious questions, doesn't it?
It does, about due diligence, about the ad vetting processes these tech giants have in place. How effective are their systems, whether automated or human, at actually catching these clever, evolving scams?
So, given all these allegations, all these findings,
Right.
where's the investigation stand right now? What's the latest?
Well, we know Google officials have appeared before the ED.
Okay.
They've submitted documents complying with the summons they received. So there's cooperation happening there, it seems.
And what about Meta?
Meta is also definitely under scrutiny in the same probe. They were summoned for a hearing initially set for July 21st, but they requested a week's extension. So the expectation is they'll appear very shortly.
Right, so the wheels of investigation are turning, but sometimes slowly with these big global companies.
So that's often the case, yes. Legal processes take time.
So the key thing is the investigation is very much ongoing.
Absolutely.
We can expect more hearings, more evidence gathering in the coming weeks. It's definitely a story that's still unfolding.
No doubt. With potentially quite significant implications down the line.
This whole deep dive really underscores a complex challenge, doesn't it?
It really does. It highlights this kind of paradox of these huge online ecosystems, the very same powerful tools that connect us all, that let us communicate, run businesses. They can, unfortunately, also be weaponized for illegal activities, for illicit gain.
Yeah.
It's this constant search for balance, isn't it, between keeping platforms open and accessible and implementing really robust adaptive safeguards against increasingly sophisticated threats.
So here's something to think about, maybe for you listening. When you consider how professionally these scams seem to operate, leveraging major platforms, big events like the IPL, what does this investigation really tell us about the inherent vulnerabilities in digital advertising, especially when faced with determined criminals? And maybe more importantly, what can companies do? And what can you do as someone navigating this world? How do we get better at spotting and blocking these deceptions in the future? Is it about smarter AI, more human oversight, or perhaps just developing a more critical eye? All of us. Definitely something to chew on.